This is an uncensored podcast about sex, sexuality, gender, and body stuff. Listener discretion is advised. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are solely those of the person or persons sharing them. Some names have been changed to protect the anonymity of its participants. Hello, my friends. How you doing? It is I in his eye. Oh, this is a lot. This is already a lot. I don't know if you guys are gonna hear it. Oh, there's my fucking dog. Well, hold on. Yeah. Spring is fucking springing. Like, do you hear this? There's a bird who is birding so fucking hard right now outside my window, and there's literally nothing I can do about it because I don't believe in killing birds for no good reason. And I will stand behind that. I'm going to double down. Don't kill birds. Also, there's a squirreling in the front yard. You can't really hear that so much, but he is... We have like a squirrel-proof bird feeder, and this is a long story you don't need to know. In our yard, there are crepe myrtle trees. Crepe myrtles are like these trees that have like really pretty bark. Like it's like kind of peels off, and there's like different colors of like all earth tones, really. All earth tones. It's not like a eucalyptus or whatever that shit is in Australia where it's like every color known to Australian. Crepe myrtles are just like orangey brown, but they do kind of peel and they're pretty. And then they have big knobby branches, and then they have like flowers, and the flowers could be white, they could be pink or something. It's like, I think there's different kinds, but anyway, it's like customary to like chop off the branches like right at the knuckles, like once a year, and then they literally grow new branches and like flower and leaf and everything like within a year's time or something. I think they went a little nutso and knuckled our trees a little too. Like it's not the first knuckle, it's like the second knuckle, or I don't know how knuckles are numbered, but anyway, now we have like no branches. So my mom tried to put this squirrel-proof bird feeder on a branch that wasn't there, and so it's just kind of like lumped up against it's just like right up against the trunk of the tree, so it can't swing. So the idea is that the squirrel tries to get on top of the feeder, and then it swings and it tosses the squirrel off, which is so much fun to watch because they always land on their feet. But anyway, yeah, it's not able to swing. So the squirrels have just been squirreling so hard. And, this is the whole story, I promise. And the wind is like winding. It is winding up a windstorm, out there. You can tell I'm really good at talking about nature. Anyway, so this is Make Sex With Me, a podcast where we talk about the birds and the bees, quite literally sometimes. And this is a Quickisode, or so we think. Let's try to keep it a quick 30. So anyway, guys, I have a few things I want to talk to you about from the world of pop culture. And of course, I did not do my research, but we're going to look into it. And also, I wanted to say something kind of serious. Should we start serious and then get sad? Wait, not sad, but dirty. Is that? I feel like that's going to leave a better taste in our mouth. Okay, so here's the deal with the seriousness. And I'm going to talk about this later. I might do an expose on this later because these kinds of things they need to be talked about. They need to be called out. And I don't know of a better place to do it. And I don't know of a better place to do it. That means two things. I'm not sure if this is the best place to do it. I just don't know of a better place to do it. Also, I can't think of a better place to do it than this podcast. Does that make sense? Okay, we won't say it again. There is in my town a community garden, and there is in my town a community church. It's literally called a community church. And from what I know about this church, it's like a Baptist light church, so knowing that it stems from the Baptist, form of Christianity, you could deduce that it is not all about everybody joining them. Like not really a community church. Like not about, y'all means all or whatever the fuck. But I've been told that it is a community church and all are welcome, all are invited. And they have like bands that perform, because the opium wasn't strong enough. They had to up the opium to, get people in seats. And, church has never been less popular. Thank God. So they're doing everything they can. And I would say that they do not conduct themselves like most Baptist churches. But turns out some old habits never die. So the community garden in my town is, I'm not going to give names. I'm not going to talk specifics because I'm not ready to do that yet. That would be more of like an expose episode. But the community garden was started by this man who's actually was not born in this country. He immigrated here, started a family, and has done literally amazing things for the community here. Understood that there was a huge class divide here. There was rich people and poor people, and some of those rich people have been here for generations. Most of those poor people have been here for generations. And there's a lot of newbies that don't really understand all of it, but like the history of that. But he recognized that like there was a way to engage community through gardening, and got, through some form, I don't know all the specifics, but got, awarded the plot of land and, for the purpose of community gardening, and has been running that community garden with volunteer help and donors and, all of this good stuff, and teaching young kids, about gardening, but also like different life skills. And so the community church, which is not the same thing as the community garden, was hugely supportive of the community garden. And they're not even near each other. They're, blocks and blocks away from each other in our town. But actually, I live pretty close to the community church, and I can hear the digital bells of the church at different times throughout the day. It's literally like, it plays songs, but it's like when you have those like Christmas teddy bears and like they're like playing, jingle bells. It's like ding ding dong, ding ding dong, ding dong, ding dong dong. Like it's like completely digital, but it plays really loudly from the church, and it sounds pretty good from a distance. I don't know what it sounds like when you're right there. It might sound kind of stupid, but That's how close they are to me, because I can hear that. And it is a nice reminder. It's 6 o'clock. Okay. Are you praying? So the community church was hugely supportive of the community garden, and they even allowed them to use, like, so the community church has like this huge chunk of land, and on that they have like a bunch of different buildings and they use for different things. I think there's a Christian school there too, or whatever. And they would let the community garden do certain indoor activities for kids and stuff for the community in some of their outbuildings. So like that was a huge help for the programs they were doing, because the garden is just that. It has a greenhouse. I don't think there's any real buildings on the property of the gardens. It's mostly gardens. And so they don't even have a bathroom. They have like a really cute porta potty. Like you're there, you're outside. That's the deal. But some of the things that they were doing to try to help kids had to be done inside. Also, the greenhouse is a fucking greenhouse, so it's hot as fuck in there during the day, and there's no lights during the nights. I don't actually know anything about that, but okay. So, flash forward to my organization, which is a local chapter of PFLAG, looking for places to do our pride picnic, because we decided that the best thing we could do in our town for June, for Pride Month, is to have an event for families, and just everyone's invited, everyone's welcome, and we wanted it to be a Pride. It's called something like Pizza Pride Picnic in the Park. Like, I don't know why we got all pee about it, but we did, and I wasn't a part of that. So I wasn't a part of planning the name. I think it should just be called Pride in the Park. But we like pee around here. So yeah, so we were looking for a place, and at one point, the guy who runs the community garden said, "You know what? I'll let you do your event here on the property of the gardens." Now, there's more to that. We actually were scheduled to do our pride picnic on this little triangle of land that's more towards like where the town hall is, on the actual island where we live. So where we live is an island, kind of. It's like a strip of land with marshland in between the mainland and that strip of land. So it's kind of like an island, but the surrounding coastal area is also the same as that, as far as like town. So I don't actually live on an island. I live on the other side of the marsh, and some people do live on the island. So there's that. But so this location was on the island, and it's by the town hall, and it's literally the same property as the town hall. It was a big deal, and we scheduled it, and someone in that office said, "Sure, that sounds great. We'll do that on this date. Cool." And this was months and months in advance. And then when we got closer to the event, oops, there's no reservation for that. So there might be more to it than that, but I call bullshit somewhere, right? And it sounds like something that would happen to a local support group for lesbians and gays and trans people and queer people of all kinds, right? So in a town like this. So it's fishy as fuck. So anyway, we were actually scrambling. And again, I wasn't that involved with the board at that time, so I didn't actually, I wasn't not a part of the scramble, but the fact that the guy who leads up the community garden was willing to let us use that in an emergency, like, was very, very, it meant a lot. And it was awesome. He's a Christian person, and he believes that there's a certain way to act Christian, and it's to accept all people and love all people. And he's a man who has to deal with different donors and, fundraising for his organization. And he's constantly like having to say, okay, is this something we can align with, knowing that maybe we might lose funding by some of our donors because they might not like this thing that we've aligned ourselves with. And then if we lose that funding, will we be able to help the kids and the community, like, which is our real goal. So like, that is a hard thing about organization stuff, is like being like, okay, so you what? Is this going to be this whole episode? Oh my God. Um, you have to say, what is our goal? And we can't get too far away from that goal, Like when I was organizing a comedy show, we started talking about different things we could have for auction items. And at one point we were gonna auction off these like Gullah Geechee baskets, and they're baskets made by people who are descendants of the original Gullah people, like who lived on this land. So I don't actually know much about the Gullah people, but I think they were like partially African, partially native indigenous people. I don't know that to be sure, but I do know that happened a lot. I think that some escaped enslaved people made their way into areas with, where they could seek refuge by indigenous people. And then that created a mixture of those people. And it's pretty cool, actually. I think I'd like to learn more about that. Let's do it. So these people who make these baskets they're very beautiful, very well made, handmade baskets, and they are expensive, and they fucking should be. They really fucking should be. They should be like $2,000 a basket. Fucking give us reparations, bitch. Have a basket and pay up right now. Plus the skill that's involved is like you couldn't get this basket from another community. Like it's a very particular thing, I think. So they are worth a lot. And I was just like trying to tell my people that, these baskets are worth a lot. I'm afraid they're not going to get a lot in our auction, because we're kind of just like this, like beginning, starting out little comedy show. Like, I don't think if we put this $2,000 basket on the table, I think this person's going to get like $500 for it. And that's it. And that doesn't sound like something I want to have happen for this person. Yeah. Also, I was being cheap too, because I was like, we're trying to raise money for this organization. Like my friend was like, we need to give some money to this person. Like, this is an expensive basket. Like, we shouldn't like ask them to donate it fully. Like, we should like split the proceeds. And I was like, I fully understand what you're saying. I just think we shouldn't have the basket at all, because I think that it's not going to get what it's worth, and then we're going to have to give some of that money back to the artist, which should happen, but I just was like, I don't think. Anyway, that's a long side note. But in my point was that we need to, there's things that need to happen here today, and this isn't an organization raising money for Gullah Geechee baskets and the Gullah Geechee people, which that needs to be a thing too. Our cause is ... So that's kind of like a thing that I think people that head organizations have a hard time with, because they want to align themselves with other things. They want to, there's an element of that where you have to do that. You have to have allies. You have to have strong ties and roots in the community with different kinds, like we're PFLAG, but we have strong ties with the local chapter of the NAACP and the South Carolina ACLU, and just all these different things that aren't necessarily always focused on what we're focused on, but together we're stronger. Yes, yes, yes. But to my point about the community garden, for him to align with this LGBTQIA plus community support organization, and risk his organization's reputation in the community when all he's trying to do is like feed people that don't, have food insecurity, and, teach people life skills they don't have resources to learn those life skills necessarily. Kids from single parent homes, kids from multi-generational homes, or different, things like that. That's all at risk when the people who fund you and support you are bigots. And you when you're starting out as an organization, you got to take what you can get. Someone's offering money, you take it. You don't promise any favors, but you take the money so you can do the good work. And then suddenly you realize there's this other awesome organization who's doing similar work and wants similarly good things for the community. If I align myself with them, is that going to change the reputation of in my relationship with my donors? It's a tough one. So 1 year he said, sure, you're in a bind. I'll let you use the land at the community garden for your picnic. And it brought in a lot of good stuff. I mean, people, our people met their people, and we expanded our networks that way. I'm sure that, we have similar volunteers and membership in some ways, anyway. So that was like strengthening those ties. And, there were food trucks at the picnic, and there was, different organizations had tables, and there was like fun stuff for kids and parents alike. And it was just a good event, and a lot of foot traffic, not on the plants, but, in between them. And that porta potty got used, motherfucker. Yeah. So they might have even had to have gotten a second porta potty. I don't know about that. So that was a good thing. Now, that was 1 year. The next year, he said, that went so well. I really like, this relationship. I'll let you guys do it here again. And each year we have to ask him, like, is it cool if we do another Pride picnic this year at your community garden? And every year he says, yes, that's fine. I love that. Do that. Let's do that. Because he's such a good person. Now, I don't even think it was more than 1 year after that happened that the community church caught wind of it. And by the way, when we were starting out as PFLAG, we had a lot happened. There was outrage about our comedy show. There was outrage about a similar organization doing drag shows, and there was a lot of confusion about us being them and us doing drag shows. And I was like, no, we just do comedy shows. Like, I wear a dress, but it's not a drag show. And that was just ignorance on their part. They didn't do their due diligence. They didn't understand that, one organization's doing drag brunches, another organization's doing comedy shows, and we're not the same organization. We know each other, but we're not the same. That's how that works. And yes, we're all gay, but no, we're not the same organization. So, there was a lot of confusion there, a lot of bigoted hatred, and there were threats made. There's people who have been since then investigated by even the FBI for making threats of violence towards different people. There was a donut shop we did our first couple comedy shows at. The owner, they got threats that they were going to burn down the building of the donut shop. They got threats that they were going to go to the owner's house and burn that down, and hurt her and her family. So those kinds of things you can't just make threats like that. So those people were investigated by the FBI. Yeah, ya bitch. Fuck you. You can't do that shit. It doesn't matter what you believe. Like, this is a free fucking country. If a donut shop wants to have a comedy show benefiting PFLAG, they fucking can. And you can't go and say, we're going to burn your house down. Fuck you, asshole. Anyway, it's so fucked up. It's so fucked up that these people think that they're good people when they're threatening violence. They think that they care about the American family, and they're threatening families. Families that are trying to do good for communities, they threaten to burn their houses down and harm their bodies. What the fuck kind of bullshit is this? What kind of fuckery is this, right? So this whole episode is about this, by the way. I'll tell you one funny, dirty thing at the end. This is Tangent Goddamn City. I'm stealing ideas from I've Had It podcast. So yeah. So the community church found out probably around that time that the community garden was letting the local chapter of PFLAG. So PFLAG, for those of you who don't know, used to stand for Parents, Friends, and Families of Lesbians and Gays. Since then, it's just PFLAG. It's not an acronym anymore. It's just like FLAG. It's like a piece of furniture at IKEA. It doesn't mean anything but FLAG. So, because they realized that, this is not just a support for the families and friends of, and it's also not just for lesbians and gays, it is for all queer people, LGBTQIA+. So we call it FLAG. We don't really, but I do now. It's the FLAG organization to support the LGBTQIAs. Okay. So they found out that they were letting us do our fucking picnic there. And the church said, hey, if you want us to continue to affiliate ourselves with yourselves, you need to not affiliate with themselves, with the PFLAGers. And the guy who runs the community garden was like, are you serious? And they were like, yep. And he was like, okay, bye. He said goodbye to them, not us. Which is like incredible. He was like, I've got 2 connections here. They're both great. They're both awesome. They're awesome. And one of them has said, we will only affiliate ourselves with you if you no longer affiliate yourself with the other one. And he said, well, that violates my moral code. Goodbye. You aren't acting like Christians. Goodbye. And in doing that, he actually lost a lot of support that he had for programming for underserved children and youth and families. Because he had all I don't know if there was a lot of financial support there. There may have been. There was all of this support through the members of that church. There was the ability, and I saw this when I went on the website for the garden. I noticed there was all these pictures of kids doing stuff in buildings, and I said, I've seen that building before, but that's not on the property of the gardens. Oh my God, that's at the fucking church. They did all these things at the church that they now cannot do. So the church said, and this wasn't every member of the church, this was the leadership of the church, said, we don't believe that homosexuality is right, and you're just letting, one day a year, you're letting an LGBTQIA plus support group do a picnic on your property, and that's too much for us. So you no longer get support for your kids and families that are struggling to eat who aren't given the same education about life skills and just anything, education at all. They're not given the same shot at life. They're not given anything the same, and have been for 500 years prevented from creating any kind of I don't know the word, like when you like create wealth, and when you create generational wealth, or something to do with like credit. Oh, God damn it, what's the word? All these other big words that I don't know the definition of keep getting in the way. Does that make sense? Let's just say wealth. Like these families are predominantly Black families, and some are probably Latino families. They might be, new to the country. They could be first, second, third generation families in this country. They need support from their communities, and this community church saw this organization doing this work and said, yeah, but some gay people, so bye. Now, I don't know that church isn't doing other outreach in their own programs for these kinds of communities, but it just is sick. It's fucking sick. And I know people, my next door neighbors go to that church. I know a woman who I've done plays with, and she is really awesome. And I came to find out recently while shopping at TJ Maxx that she is married to one of the pastors at that church. And it's weird. It's really weird, because I don't know if he's like the head pastor or if he's this or that. I don't know. Churches like that can have like 20 pastors. I have no fucking idea. It's culty MF. Or wait, culty AF. It's okay. I'm so cool. One time my mom was like, I've decided I'm going to go. This was when I was like about to get my mom into therapy, and she actually did see a therapist a few times. And then she was like, what I really think I need is like a support group for people who have like been married to alcoholics, who have alcoholics in their family. So there's this like Al-Anon program through Alcoholics Anonymous, and it's for the friends and families of alcoholics, so she was like, I'm going to go to this Al-Anon meeting. And there's this one that's really early on this day. And she's like, but then there's this evening one that I think I would enjoy better. Even though my mom doesn't do anything after 3 p.m. She's like in for the night. She's like, yeah, I want to go to this one. It's right around the corner. And I was like, okay. And so she's like, we were going to go consignment store shopping or something. She's like, will you just drive through there? I want to see like where the building is, because it's tomorrow and I just want to like know where everything is. And I said, okay, cool. Yeah. And it was at the community church. And so we drove around, and it was like around the back. It wasn't like in the chapel. It wasn't like in this main part of the thing. It was, they let organizations do meetings probably in like one of their other buildings, their outbuildings, I call them. So we drove through, and it's like a compound. It's like there's all these random buildings, and they're all beige. And I was like, Mom, this place gives me fucking culty vibes AF. And she was like, oh, like it, yeah, I guess it kind of does. And then, as if I didn't want my mom to ever get any therapy or support, I said that dumb shit. And then she was like, I don't think I feel comfortable going here. And then she never went to an Al-Anon meeting, because I'm so bad at acting in my own best interest. Because I want my mom to be in therapy so bad. She needs it. She's afraid of it. She's like, oh. And I know how amazing it could be for her life. And then I did that dumb fucking shit because I'm a fucking idiot. Anyway, I might have saved her from any association with that church. She already goes to that church for their Christmas programs with my next door neighbors. They do like a big Christmas concert with like lots of big loud music, and people dancing and the gayest shit ever, right? But they don't like the gays. It's one of those places where like all are welcome, but when you get here, we're going to give you some conditions. We're going to say, we love you. We love you so much that we're going to let you know that the way you've chosen to live your life is sinful. And Jesus loves you too, and Jesus will never give up on you. But Jesus wants you to know that being a homosexual is wrong. It's like, all I'm doing is like loving another person. And like, we want the same shit a lot of times. Like, a lot of gays just want to get married, have kids, live in a house, have a job, have barbecues with our neighbors. That's not every gay, but that's a lot of gays. And you're telling us that what we're doing is wrong. So much so that somebody might say, oh, I'm going to burn down your fucking house, and I hope your kids die in the fire. Who's a Christian? Who's the Christian? Who's acting like Jesus? It's insane. It's insane. It's fucking insane. And I think that a lot of Christians are hearing what people like me are saying, and they're going, hold the fucking train. My church is all about hate. And that's not what I was taught as a child to be, is hateful. But I get older and then they let me in on the secrets that, oh, we actually just fucking hate everybody. And that's, if I'm being true to what I've been told and what I believe that Jesus is about, I can't be that hateful. And I won't be. I think people are hearing their own inside voice, the voice inside of them, not a quiet voice, but the voice of them, their actual heart and their actual soul. And some people would say that's Jesus speaking through me. But honey, that gets dangerous, because some people hear what they think is Jesus speaking through them, and that is just fear and hate and insecurity talking. I mean, there's different voices in you. Not everyone has one voice, and not every voice inside of you is Jesus Christ. Unfortunately, I've got the voice of my father in me every once in a while. I got the voice of every person who ever talked shit about me, whoever told me I was worthless, whoever told me this or that, I was fat and blah, blah, blah. Nobody would ever love me. I've got all those voices in there. You think any of those are Jesus? No. Bitch needs therapy, okay? You need to be able to decipher whose voice is whose in there. Go to fucking therapy, please. Please. All right, I'm going to give you one dirty little thing, and it's going to be this. There was a couple things, but I didn't do my research for one of them, so let's not. I have a masturbation notice here, guys and girls and squirrels, from the University of Waterloo. Now, I don't know where that is. It's got a phone number that looks like an American number, so I think it's probably in America. Maybe it's in the website says .co. Is that Canada? Is it Colorado? I don't know. Anyway, this is hilarious. And I've seen masturbation notices like this at universities before. All right, so I'm going to read it. It has come to our attention that students have been vigorously masturbating in the school washrooms. Masturbating on school property is illegal and against school district policy. I'm wondering what they mean by that, because like, doesn't the school own the dormitories, and aren't people allowed to masturbate in their own halls of residence? I don't know. The bathroom pipes are not designed to handle human discharge other than your regular bathroom duties. So that sentence is poorly written. The excessive amount of discharge buildup has caused a blockage in the pipes. A pipe on the first floor E7 bathroom has burst because of the excessive semen buildup. So now they're saying what the discharge is, but before they had to say discharge. I don't know why. This will cost thousands of dollars coming from our funds to repair the damage. Please masturbate in your own homes. And if any discharge is discovered in the bathroom, it will be collected and analyzed to determine who it belongs to. So, okay. The first time I read that, I thought that they were like, when we collect the blockage from the pipes of all of the hundreds of discharges, maybe thousands, we're gonna analyze the big ball of jizz to try to figure out who it belongs to. That's what I first thought when I read that. But now I'm seeing they're saying if we find any just random jizz anywhere other than the pipes, we're gonna take a sample and we're gonna send it to a pathology lab. First of all, end the backlog. Okay, end the backlog. There's so many samples of things from rape kits I think in the US and Canada that have not been tested to actually solve crime cases. There's like thousands and thousands. There's a huge backlog of things that haven't been tested. This university is not going to test a little splooge that they find. First of all, they'd have to determine that it was really splooge. And then they'd have to do paternal testing to try to figure out, because if the person's not a criminal, they're not going to have DNA on, in any kind of database. So they'd have to do paternal testing where they find out like how many thousands of people that have given their DNA to like these different websites. Is there a person here who's like third aunt gave her DNA to a website for ancestral testing? And it's just like, it's very expensive and not a quick thing they can do. I think they're just trying to threaten students to stop splooging. And honestly, like, I don't think there's splooge other places than in the pipes, because I think they're splooging right into the toilet. Right? It also like is and they should just say men, right? Because women aren't doing it. Let's be real. Women aren't doing it. It's definitely men. What was I gonna say about that? Is no other bodily discharge that kind of consistency? Like I know poop clogs up pipes. I know it does. And I know that if you hawked this is disgusting. I'm sorry. I should have issued a warning. I know if you hawk enough loogies over time, that'll start to collect. And then hair from your body. I mean, all of these things collect. I mean, why blame it on the semen? Is semen worse than all these things? I do know that I've gotten semen in places, my bush or like whatever, and then later on you're like, it's like you put glue in your pubes. I understand. I think it's not. It's okay. So I guess then I was thinking like someone's in the bathroom stall and they'd come into the toilet and flush it. I guess what's probably happening is that they're in the showers. They're in the showers masturbating because that's the thing. Because you don't get a lot of privacy unless you're in a place where you can actually be naked, and then you do it there. So that's what's happening. Okay, we figured it out. You guys probably knew that from the minute I said anything, but I just now figured it out. Because apparently in my mind, there's just too many places where it's okay to masturbate. I don't know if that's true. That's probably not true. But no, it's okay. So it's men in the dormitory showers, and I don't know, guys. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I think this is a little sex shamey, to be honest. If we're being really open minded here, they're saying you can go in the shower, you can spit, you can pee, you can like go to the toilet, you can poop, you could do all these things. And if they're college students, they're vomiting a lot, because I used to vomit from drinking a lot in college. I think there was an incident too once where I threw up or something, and then like, was it throwing up or was I have diarrhea? I can't remember. Something happened, but I didn't know that the toilet was like already backed up, and then I think I puked my guts out in it, and then I couldn't flush it, and then I was like, oh no, and then it like started overflowing. And this was when I shared a bathroom. One year I had my own dorm room, but I shared the bathroom with like other people in my hall, and it was a mess, and I was like, ah, and I like didn't know what to do. Oh god. College life. Yeah. You don't have a lot of privacy. Okay, I got to masturbate in my room because I had my room by myself. But like, you usually share a room with one, if not more people. And so that's why your students are masturbating in the shower, because they need to masturbate and there's nowhere to do it. Where else are they going to do it? Starbucks? Write that letter. I dare ya. All right, guys. So that's the end of this episode, because I wanted to keep it short. And I hope that disgusting, sexy little story there at the end left you feeling special about yourself in some way. And I don't know. Try to be a better person. Just each day be a little bit better. Try to be good to people. Try not to be a bigot. It's so much nicer to like be good to people. I don't know. It's sometimes can be hard, but it's nicer for the most part. And now it's raining. Fucking April is Apriling so hard. All right, guys, that's the end. So I hope that you guys rate, review, subscribe. 5 stars, please. Give us 5 stars. First person who gives us 5 stars, I will personally write you a letter of love. I will literally acknowledge you and say I love you. You're my favorite of all the people in the world. That's a promise. And I hope you're filling all your holes with whatever makes you happy, even if it clogs the pipes. Bye-bye.